Hello comrades, Commissar Bro here today with Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13. That's right, I told you in the last little video I did that I was probably going to do a series of this game, and although I was going to do a sort of walkthrough, I've decided just to go ahead and start a new campaign and talk a little bit about the game as I go. Again, this is kind of a difficult game to talk about because there's a lot of depth to it, there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of things you can do in it, so on and so forth. There's a lot here, surprisingly enough. For 50 bucks, it's a damn good price. I love these games, as I've mentioned multiple times. So, one little thing I want to show you real quick is that you can actually create your own officers. You go to edit officers, you can edit historical officers like actual real life officers as according to the story, and even original heroes that you can create yourself. As you see here, you can do an auto male or you can do an auto female if you just want to hurry up and get it over with and just keep making them. Let's see, look at that. See, there's plenty of people to choose from. Yes, there are. But you can get more specific with it and choose actual pictures and so on. As you can see, the list of people is pretty big. Like, I mean, if we're just going down the new officer screen itself, look at this. Look how many officers there are to choose from. And look at her, she's like a non-man. And look at her, she's got an eye patch. Like a tough son of a bitch. That's my kind of woman right there. Anyway, so yeah, you've got a lot of different things you can choose from. I'm kind of digging this one here. It's like double sword thing this dude's got going on here. We're going to click auto mail, bam. See, there we go, Jin Tang. That's my man right there. We're gonna go put his life. He's gonna be old. He's gonna be old, man. See, look at that. We change his birth. And he doesn't. We'll make him last. He'll have died at the age of 72. So yeah, you can sit there and be more specific. Give it a lot of different nice curves and stuff. You can do affinities towards original officers you created. I'm gonna say that he has an affinity towards Ji Gan, one of the heroes I have created. As he knows that guy, he's friends with him. Anyway, so you see here, you can make that. You can make a lot of all that good stuff. You can edit more specific stuff like their stats. You can go and change their preference in terms of like what type of items they like to receive and so on and so forth. Lots of nice stuff to choose there, but we're just going to stick with what we got. I've got 12 original officers I've created myself. So that's pretty cool. You've got a hero mode, which is kind of like a story mode in a sense. It follows individual heroes from the Shu, the Wei, and the Wu. Again, the actual three kingdoms that this game focuses on. That's right, Liu Bei and Cao Cao. And I imagine it starts with Sun Jian and then goes to Sun Ce and then eventually to Sun Quan. Yes, Sun Jian being the basically the father, Sun Ce being the ruler who took over when Sun Jian died, and then Sun Quan, the brother, taking over for Sun Ce after Sun Ce died. But anyway, so we're gonna go here. These are the actual scenarios that we can play. The one we're gonna be playing is the anti-Dongchuo. You know what? No, we're going to play the Yellow Turban Rebellion. We're going to start from the very beginning of the story of the Three Kingdoms. That's right. Now, a lot of people basically say that, indeed, the start of the Three Kingdoms period was with the Yellow Turban Rebellion because the Yellow Turbans essentially allowed many of the generals who would, or many of the people who would become popular, or not popular, but prominent, not just a few years later, and that, so, oh, there's 47, did I create that many? I know I didn't create that many, whatever. Position, original officers, I'm just going to basically let them get positioned themselves. Oh, I can actually put them into city manually myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say they can appear in the game, 47 of them. Cool. Alright, so we're going to click confirm. We're going to see what recommended officers it thinks we should play. We can play He Jin. We could play Chang Zhao, Sun Jian, Liu Yang, Cao Cao, Lu Bu, Lu Ji, Hong Fu Song, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Shang Fei. So those are some of the recommended officers it thinks that we should play as. Now, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Shang Fei all operate not as rulers this early on. I think they're just officers under G. But if we want to actually play as rulers, yeah, see, they're just normal. If we want to actually play as rulers, the four that we can choose between here are He Jin, Zhang Zhao, Sun Jian, and Liu Yan. And I think we're going to play as Sun Jian. He's affiliated with Jia P. That's right. So it looks good, looks good. We're going to keep the difficulty on a low one. Historical lifespans. Killed, yes. Treat as officer. Appear in city historical. Historical event, yes. And we're going to follow history. That's right. Alright, looks good. Looks delicious. Absolutely delicious. Phenomenal. I'm pretty much good with all this. Yep. Alright, alright. Okay, let's do it. Let's get in there. We're going to be playing as Sun Jian of Jia P. That's right. It's going to be pretty good, I hope. Alright, so we have a nice little explanation. It is the time of the later Han Dynasty. Politics were corrupt. Society is in chaos. Caught in the storm, civilians took hope in an ominous song. The blue sky is on the wane. Next, a yellow one shall reign. Zhang Zhao's words spread far, gaining steam among laymen and stirring a great revolt. The Yellow Turban Rebellion was born. And as you can see here, this would be the Yellow Turban's territory. Grand General He Jin quickly dispatched troops to quell the rebellion, but found only crushing defeats. The growing rebellion struggled with leadership, swiftly evolving into a mob which terrorized the public and only worsened their suffering. In this era of strife and disorder, a champion to unite the lands was bound to appear. Is it a cunning hero whose wits and wisdom bring order? Is it a brave warrior whose ambition and strength will inspire the masses? Or is it a benevolent leader whose faith and compassion grieves for the people? This being Cao Cao, this being Sun Jian, and this being Liu Bei. The hounds of war were set free on the battlefield of chaos. The era of heroes has begun. Or had begun, excuse me. As I have a man talking in Chinese, no less. Awesome. So as raiders from the Yellow Turbans began to threaten your province, Governor Liu Yan posted a call for volunteers. One young man stood staring at it. Liu Bei sighed. Zhang Fei, what are you all gloomy about? Are you going to just sit there and sigh while your country falls apart around you? Pathetic! And you are? My name is Fei of the Shang family. Sorry to startle you like that, but I couldn't just stand here and watch you. I am Bei of the family Lu. I truly do want to help save my country, but I have neither the strength nor the money to do so. This is what depresses me. So, basically, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, if you choose to actually have the events and so on, it tells you the story of essentially the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the story. I mean, pretty straightforward, right? So Liu Bei is essentially descended, or at least claims he was descended from the Han Dynasty, a very far, basically not a direct descendant in this case. And he would meet a warrior named Zhang Fei and eventually Guan Yu, which is who we're essentially about to meet here in a second. There he is right there. Also known as the God of War. This dude is pretty fucking nasty. Honestly, these three brothers are pretty nasty in themselves. Zhang Fei was said to have stopped Cao Cao's forces at a bridge, I think it was at Chang'an, with a mighty roar, stopping thousands, tens of thousands of men at this bridge to allow Liu Bei to escape. But anyway, Guan Yu, excuse me, I beg your pardon for interrupting, but please allow me to join you as well. From the looks of you, you are someone to be reckoned with. And you are? I am Yu of the Guan family. I overheard two such impressive individuals referring or conferring about the troubles of our land and could not stay quiet. Needless to say, these three brothers would meet each other and swear an oath in the peach garden out behind Zhang Fei's house, thus becoming sworn brothers and claiming to basically fight and fight together and die on the same day, and so on and so forth. So very, very beautiful. Truly it is. So, If I may be so bold, I would like to advise you about your upcoming strategy. First, how about making sure you have an advising minister assigned? This can be done through appointments, blah, 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 blah. Awesome. Alright, so we're actually in the game now, and we're literally going to start out doing exactly what our little official says we should do. We're going to go to assignments, we're going to go to assign minister, and we're going to appoint a war minister, a domestic minister, and a military minister. Alright, so it would seem that Cheng Pu is a solid choice for our war minister. Our domestic minister will be Chu Qi, and our military minister will be Huang Gai. Yeah, that's right. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Alright, I hereby appoint you War Minister. May you serve well. I shall serve War Minister well. Phenomenal. Here are your officer's suggestions. What do you think we should do, Sun Jing? Don't you think GFP could benefit from greater culture? I think that's a pretty good idea there, fella. And I think you're just the man for the job. We're going to put him at 120. Alright. So yeah, we're going to let him do his thing. So, one thing that's very, very important about these games is that these officers that you're going to see the names for, these, for the most part, are real people that existed at one time, which is something that makes this game very unique in the sense that these guys all have descriptions and names and so on and so forth. So, for example, if I wanted to bring up the biography of a general or a hero that existed during this time, I pretty much can. For example, the character we're playing as, Sun Jian, is said to be the descendant of Sun Tzu, participated in the suppression of the Yellow Turbans and became the prefect of Changsha, led the vanguard in the coalition against Dong Zhuo, and died in battle at Xiangyang, fighting Yuan Shu and Liu Biao. He was posthumously named Emperor Wu Li. Cheng Pu, the guy we just set to our war minister, was an officer of Wu. He fought with a pike called the Iron Serpent. He was a veteran soldier who served 3 generations of the Sun family, and at the Battle of Chi Bi, he served directly under Viceroy Chuo Ju as second in command. He defeated Cao Cao's army at Jiangshang. So yeah, Cheng Pu. Pretty prominent name. You're probably going to see a lot here. Now, if you want me to go specifically in detail and do videos where I actually talk about each individual person based on studies that, you know, I can do, then I can absolutely do that. Again, these are all very important people, and some of them you may be very familiar with if you've ever played Dynasty Warriors. For example, Sun Jian, you're familiar with him, or Huang Gai, you're familiar with him. I don't know if any of these other guys are on there. I think Cheng Pu, they finally added him, which they should have. This dude's a badass. Like, he fought for Shu and Wu and Shu again, and yeah, he's a pretty bad son of a bitch. So I'm surprised that they didn't mention him more. And I think that's Cheng Pu that I'm thinking of. It could be Mi Chong. Either which way, important guy that you should always remember. So, what should we start out doing? Well, I think listening to the suggestions of our officers is always a great way to start. Cheng Pu believes that we should investigate the rumors in Chia P to see if we find out anything important about Chia P. Basically, like what towns are nearby and so on and so forth. Huang Gai feels like patrolling Chia P will make people feel more secure, which is also a phenomenal idea. We're going to give him a lot of time to do that. And Zhu Qi believes that we should increase our commerce. Phenomenal. We're going to do that as well. Now, before we get too deep into this, let's take a look at where we are in relation to the rest of China. As you can see, these little gray areas here, these white areas are cities that are not under anyone's control as far as the game is concerned. The yellow areas would be under the Yellow Turbans, and people we really need to watch and be careful with. These are essentially going to be the dudes we're fighting. We don't have a whole lot of troops right now. We have 18,400, and our proficiency is rather low. So it's going to be some time before we're actually able to take these guys on. But what would be a good start is taking over some of these white cities around us that have soldiers in them, and making them a part of basically the Wu forces and so on and so forth. Some other forces we should keep in mind is Ding Yuan, Liu Yan, Gong Sun Zan, He Jin, which is over here. This would be He Jin. This being the capital, Luoyang. This is where the emperor is currently. He's in Luoyang. So that might be a city we eventually take. And Ma Teng is over here, and Dong Shuo is stationed at Tianshui. So yeah. I think that's pretty much a good place to end this one. Oh, and I forgot about Chi down here. Chie, or it's like Chie, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it. Either which way, I think this is a great place to stop. I know we haven't really played a lot of the game. This has been a lot of me talking and just talking about other stuff. So don't you worry, your pretty little mind. We will be back here in a few days with more Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and I hope you guys are all going to enjoy watching this as much as I'm going to enjoy playing it, because like I said, I love this game. I think it's ridiculously interesting, and yeah, I hope you guys are going to enjoy it with me. But anyway, this has been CB, and I'll see you next time.